Are there any deals that happened in the last year or in the last year and a half that you've really seen as changing the landscape and that you guys are excited about or say that's where the future is going?
Yeah. So great question. Thank you, Marco. I think two that are symbolic. So the first one is Fisher in China. People talk about it as the mirror of China, but it's really more than that, because as you think about China, China often leapfrogs different stages of development, and so instead of it being like mirror, it's actually mirror cube. I mean, there's so many more features. If you think of like in Asia, where in China, certainly super apps that combine many different apps, whereas you might have one in North America. Same with Fisher. It's got AI component. It's doing a lot of things that are very, very different. So that one's interesting. Series A round, they raised $70 million, which is massive, by a variety of companies, including C Ventures. So you're seeing, and that's an investment firm from Hong Kong. So you're seeing growth there. Then the other one is Dream 11 out of India. That one's really around fantasy sports. It started obviously based in cricket, but it's expanded into a variety of sports, including NBA and others. And so that one really shows the focus around really fan engagement that's growing in India. So if you look at those two markets, there's some real opportunities, and there's many, many more to come.
So Fisher in China and Dream 11 in India really representing what's happening in the Asian markets. It seems like China and India are taking the lead. Two questions. How do foreign investors get involved in the local markets? And how are the local markets, what else is happening in the rest of Asia? How are the local markets changing?
Well, certainly China and India are very dominant in this space. And, you know, if you look at the size of the deals, China and India are number 2 and 3 in terms of the size of the overall deals. But what you're seeing that's very interesting is you're seeing this shift in really movement up the value chain. You've had companies that used to be just, you know, maybe manufacturing something or OEMs, and they're moving up the chain. And you look at this case with both Fisher and Dream 11, where they actually have gone more local. They've gone back into their markets, and in part because the opportunity is massive. So they'll build out their own local market, capitalize on that, and then at the right time, they'll actually go global. So think about TikTok. No one saw, you know, we've watched those and seen that grow, but then all of a sudden, boom, it becomes an international product and sensation. And so I think we're going to see more and more of that. Even if you look at, like in India alone, there's something like 800 sports tech related startups, which is incredible. But of course, you know, the predominance and knowledge around software. And then in China, there's about 150 as well. And so this whole ecosystem is going to continue to grow. And again, if you tie in what we were talking about earlier, the consumption of sports by consumers, the desire for more experiences, it's only going to accelerate and grow even larger.
So with this vibrant market in Asia, and investors investing in the last year, certainly we have the elephant in the room. The pandemic has changed also how people are behaving. How have investors changed their behavior or their interests? What are they looking for in emerging technology and in these markets for sports tech?
What's very interesting is, as we all have been personally more focused on our health since the start of the pandemic, investors have started to look at this sector as definitely a growing asset class. However, as the market, we needed a bit of time to get a lot of local companies, and then we need the government supporting those companies. So step by step, we are getting a nicer and larger deal flow of early stage companies around sports, health, entertainment, well-being, to bring a holistic view to the Asian consumer. So we definitely see, of course, more and more foreign investors start to understand that there is a massive growth opportunity, but of course the Asian investors are the closest to those markets. So they are actually accelerating their pace of investment much faster than we have ever seen, and a growing interest across every category. A lot of people also coming from traditional brick and mortar business, which is real estate, which is manufacturing, which are more hardware businesses, moving to more digital and integration of digital and physical. So we definitely see, I would say, 3 main categories of investment. One that we call the human performance. So how will the future of human performance in Asia be? There is a lot of room to take and a lot of unicorn to build in that space. how, and then when I mean human performance, I mean not only the athletes, but I say the physical athlete, but also the corporate athletes. The second angle is, let's say, sports and entertainment. We know there is a lack of content, and we are all eager to consume it, because it's not always easy to consume it at 2 or 3 in the morning. So there is more and more growth around content and investments towards that, with the future content. And we see it, let's say, with the acceleration of investment around esports, which is another level here. It's part of the core entertainment. And we believe, and we started to see trends where global massive Asian esports player actually become in a more holistic player across sports categories too, because they have a very large audience base that they want to cross-sell and make them consume hobby dollars, how I call them. And then the third category, I would say, is really focused on the health and well-being, covering mental health and recovery and rehab. So this is a very large category that is impacting not only the sports, but also impacting what we call the silver economy, that is fast growing, that is accelerating. And if we know and analyze the China pyramid and the evolution of the age pyramid over the coming decades, we do see more and more opportunity in developing solutions around health, sport and wellness for the silver economy. So investors are looking across all those, following local macroeconomic data, but also investing in the future and willing to risk dollars.